Hi and welcome back to my channel. So I'm Steph and this week I'm going to be showing you how I put some vinyl or sticker paper onto these acrylic blanks. Now I've got a lot of different types of acrylic blanks and I've just picked these up from a store called Spotlight here in Australia. They've got all different shapes. These ones are little stars. They've got some rounds. I've got a cake topper, some squares and a cute little bauble shape. They're usually around about $5.50 and then the cake topper was $6.50. So it is quite expensive. But I've kind of been picking them up every time I go in there in the hope that I'm going to make something, and then I just never do. So now I've got quite a collection and I thought I would just try a few different methods with vinyl or with sticker paper and make a few different types. So here is how I did it.
Okay, so heading into Cricut Design Space and opening up onto a new project, you can go to the left hand side where you can see the shapes option. This will allow you to have a guide for your design on your acrylic blank. I've picked out a square and I'm putting in the dimensions of the acrylic blank, which is 10 centimeters, and then just locking it. I am going to turn it diagonal as this is the design that I want to do for the first Halloween one. So just there you can see that I'm making this a guide, and this will just allow me to do my design onto the acrylic blank and have a guide for this. So when I've got the square into position, I'm then going to get my first image, which is a skeleton. I've already got one bookmarked. So here I am. I've got a Cricut Access membership, and it is a subscription service, but it does give you access to lots of different images. So I've picked out the skeleton here and I'm going to add it to my canvas. When it comes through onto the canvas, you just need to resize it down because it always comes through really big just by using those corner toggles there. And here is where you can create your design. I'm going to turn the skeleton white. And my plan is to paint the back of the acrylic blank in black. This is going to be a Halloween acrylic blank. I know I'm a little bit late to the party, but yeah, I just really wanted to create something Halloween. And I thought a black painted acrylic blank and then a white skeleton will look really cool. So, okay, so when I'm happy with the measurements of my skeleton, up on the top bar, you will see an offset option. This will allow you to create a border around your image, and you can decide how big you'd like that border just by using that toggle there and clicking apply. It always comes through black, so I'm going to turn it white. And then I'm going to click over both the offset and the skeleton and attach them together so it gives me one image. I'm putting the border around the skeleton as this is going to make it really easy for me to weed, and you'll see why later. So now I've finished with the skeleton. I'm going to add the text, and I thought I could put something like bad to the bone, being so it is a skeleton. And here I am just writing out the text, and you'll see the font that I'm going to use now. It's called Acrylic Bob. I think here it is, the first one. There's so many different fonts when you have an Cricut Access subscription. So now you have your text, you can kind of just mess around with how you like to design it onto your acrylic blank. I'm going to ungroup the words and then select each word individually, group it again, and then this will allow me to move the words separately. So once I've done that, I'm going to put them into place, making sure the size is correct, and looking at the final image on the Cricut Design Space. I'm also going to add a spider to this. So again, just searching up an image of a spider, and one popped up straight away. So I'm going to add that to my acrylic blank too. When I'm happy with everything, I'm going to select over everything and attach. Click Make It, and then it will go through to your Cricut machine. You just need to decide what mat you're going to use and connect to your machine. time to put the vinyl of your choice onto the mat. So I'm using my green Cricut mat and I'm using Cricut Smart Vinyl. I just find this to be the best vinyl, especially when dealing with small parts. It just feels really strong. So make sure you've got that braided down onto your mat and then put it through your machine. This did take quite a long time to put out, but it really helps here. And you'll see with the weeding that I created that offset around the skeleton. So once I've taken off the main part, you can see the outline of the offset there, and the way that it just peels off, exposing the bones, is so much easier. So you can just go through and cut off the excess as you go. When you're happy with everything, you can pop it onto some transfer tape and then transfer it onto your acrylic blank. Here is my acrylic blank. So acrylic blanks always come with a protective film on both sides. You'll just need to remove that. And I'm going to show you how I put some paint onto it. I'm just using some black poster paint, and then I do have some white chalk paint. I just find chalk paint to be really good mixed with the poster paint or acrylic paint, and then I just find that it goes onto the acrylics really well. So mix all that up, and then you just need to paint a layer on. Let it dry, and then you'll be ready to scrape off any excess around the sides and apply your vinyl to the front. So you can see here that my black paint has dried onto the acrylic blank, and I've just transferred the skeleton and the letters onto the transfer paper and now onto the acrylic blank. I was so happy with how this design turned out, and I thought it was a great little accessory to have for Halloween. Now we're ready for our next project. I'm going to pick out a circle from the shapes option, and again I'm going to make this a guide and just pop it to 7.5 centimeters, as that is the size of my acrylic blank. So now I've got a circle, and this is going to be a guide for my design. This is going to be a Christmas decal for my tree, so I thought a snowflake would look really cool, and I found a really good design. Added it to my canvas, and now I'm just going to play with the placement onto the acrylic blank. I'm going to change it to white, and then I'm going to add a little bit of text. I'm just using this real cursive text. It's the Alyssa stencil, and I thought it'd be cool to write "Let It Snow." Now when you type this text, it is quite thin, so you can make it thicker by again adding an offset to it. So once you finish with your writing, you can select on the letters and then pop up to the offset toggle and scroll down. I did just over 0.1, clicked apply, and you can see that it makes a really thick text. So if you just move that from the top, delete the one that you don't need, and then you can do the same with the other one. So 0.035 will give you a thicker text to play with. Once you're happy with the design and the placement, you can go ahead and make it. I'm just clicking on the Let It Snow and clicking attach, so it will print out, it will cut out as one piece. Now you can see here that once you go through to Cricut, it will put it on a different mat. So the way that you can put it onto the same mat is highlight the mat and the three dots in the corner, click Move Object, and then select the mat that you want to transfer it to. And then here you can see that I've got the Let It Snow and the snowflake, and that will allow me to cut it out together. Okay, now we are ready for our next design, which is also going to be a Christmas tree decoration. I have a blank acrylic star, and so I'm picking out a shape from the left-hand side there to have a guide for this decoration. You can see that I've written Christmas and I'm about to write 2023 on it, and I have written this in the font BFC Christmas Stocking. Again, once you're happy with the placement, you can just delete the guide, which is the star, attach the writing together, and then send it through to your Cricut machine. Now you're ready to add your vinyl to the acrylic blanks. So the first one I have here is the star, and again you'll just need to remove the protective layer. I'm also going to paint the back of the star, so I've mixed up some green acrylic paint and some chalk paint, and I'm going to show you how I just paint the back of it. It literally only needs 1 or 2 coats, it just depends what look you're going for. I'm going to attach the vinyl first, and then I can see where I need the paint. When you're painting your acrylic blank, if you do get paint along the side, when it's dry, it really just scrapes off. It's so easy. While that one is drying, I'm going to add my vinyl to the Christmas bauble. Again, taking off the protective layer, weeding out my design, and attaching it to the acrylic blank. I really liked the snowflake, it looked so cute on the acrylic blank. And here it is with the vinyl attached. I'm now going to add some ribbon, and then it'll be ready to put on the Christmas tree. You could add anything to these acrylic blanks and you can get so many different shapes and sizes. It'd be really good to add family names or dates, meaningful dates. And they're just the perfect Christmas accessory. Now moving on to the next acrylic blank, I thought I would try a milestone sign. I've seen so many of these online and it seems to be a really popular thing that you can do with your acrylic blanks. This was just a round disc and 10 centimeters and 2 millimeters thick, which I just added some text to. My son was turning 10, so I thought I would do a 10 years old. But the popular ones that I've seen are all to do with babies and announcements. When you're happy with the vinyl and how it looks, you can go in and change the colour. I was going to put the 10 and the word old into silver and the word years into gold. So once I've done that, I can again send it through to my maker machine. Here I'm using Cricut's Smart Permanent Vinyl. This is always really good and always cuts out great, and I find it to be really strong and durable. If you've got small words, you can add the transfer paper onto the word first and then pick out any tiny parts, just like I'm doing here, and then pop it into place. I did really like this milestone disc, but I thought that it could have something a bit more interesting on the back. You could add paint, you could add more vinyl, you could add more stickers. You could do any design you fancy. Okay, so now I'm heading into the Cricut Design Space for my last design, and this is going to be a cake topper. Again, my son is turning 10, so I picked up an acrylic blank cake topper. This was about $6.50. It is very expensive, but I think that this one turned out really effective. He's really into basketball, so I found this Jordan image online and saved it in my downloads, and then I could upload it into Cricut Design Space. I'm going to turn it red, and then I'm also going to add an offset to it in white. So just clicking on the image, change the color, and then click again, add offset, which will give you a border around the image. Click apply. And then I'm also going to change this to white. When you have the offset and the image, you'll need to highlight over both of them and flatten them together. You can see there that I just clicked on the image and it came apart, so I'm going to realign them by centering them there. So clicking over them together, press flatten, and then you can put them onto your design. Here, instead of using a guide, I also just used a black circle, as you can't change the colour of a guide, and I really wanted to have a black background. Now I'm going to add some text, and I'm using the font Varsity Letters, multi multi-layer. I'm writing my son's name, which is Connor, and you can see here that it enables you to have two colours. So I'm going to change the colours to white and red. If you click onto the layers panel, you can see here that you can change the colours of the font. Cricut Design Space is really easy to use. You just need to play around with it, and you can always go back. There's a little arrow in the top left corner there. If you make any mistakes, just click on that. And it really is a lot of trial and error. When I'm happy that I've got Connor in the right place, I also typed out happy birthday and did the same. Now I'm just going to put it all into place on the disc. One thing I did do as well was create an offset around the black circle. This will just give me an edge when I'm popping the sticker onto the acrylic blank. So you can see here I've got a white disc. It's just to the right of that cake topper design there. I'm just going to move it to the back here. There we go. When I'm happy with everything, I'm going to select over it all and click flatten. This will allow me to print and cut. So now I'm going to send this to my printer, and I'm going to print this out using sticker paper. So now I have a preview of my print and cut image. This will allow me to send it through to my printer. So I'm going to be using Cricut's printable sticker paper, and I'm doing this on my HP printer. I'm using the system dialog. Here it will come up with the options of preferences, and this will allow you to click in your best quality. So where it says paper quality, click best. When you load the Cricut printable paper into your printer, make sure you load it the right way down. On my printer, it's the green lines facing up. And here is the image printed out onto the paper. I wanted the Jordan sign to be a little bit more red, but I thought that it looked cool like this too. So when you send it through to your Cricut machine, you'll just need to use the option of Cricut's printable sticker paper, and this will give you a piece cut sticker. You will then be able to just peel it off. Here is the cake topper, and this was about $6.50 for one. So I'm going to remove the protective layer and then add the sticker. And here are the finished projects. I did another one of the Let It Snow and painted it green and just added some gold ribbon there. I think they're going to look really nice on the Christmas tree. The Let It Snow with the snowflake. There are so many different images available on Cricut Design Space. And here is the cake up, and my son absolutely loved it. I really like how this Halloween one turned out too. And as I said before, I do like the 10 years old milestone disc, but I feel like it could have had something added to the back of it. I wanted to try out the little acrylic stands. I found a pack of 4 of these for $8.50 in Spotlight. This enables you to stand up your acrylics. So if you want to display a name or an announcement, this is a really cool way to do it. And here they go.
Okay, so that is the end of the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon.